Hi everyone. In this video I want to talk about how you multiply two binomials. Now here's an example of a binomial. It has two terms in it. Here's another one. If I want to multiply those together, going back to my basic understanding of how we multiply using the distributive property, if I think of this t plus 1 as a single quantity, I would have to distribute that to each of these terms, t over here and 4 over here. So that would give me t plus 1 times t, and then I distribute over the plus sign and I'd get t plus 1 times the 4. And then I'd have to do it again. Here I'd have a monomial t. I'd want to multiply that back here to this t and that 1, and then the 4 back to the t and the 1. So I would get t squared here plus t plus 4t plus 4. And then I'd combine these two terms right here. These are like terms. I got a 1t and a 4t. Those will combine to give me 5t. So I got t squared plus 5t plus 4. Now that's really clunky going through all those steps. And so there's a mnemonic that's been devised to help you remember how to multiply two binomials. It makes it a lot faster because we do multiply binomials very frequently in algebra. And so what we do is, what you'll notice here is that basically every term here, the t and the 1 got multiplied by the t and the 4. So I multiplied the t times the t and the t by the 4. That's the t squared and the 4t, and I got this 1 multiplied by the t and the 1 multiplied by the 4. And so that's the way you multiply any two polynomials. You basically have to multiply every term in the first polynomial by every term in the second one. And when you do that for binomials, the mnemonic that we use is FOIL. FOIL stands for the first ones. The first ones would be the t and the t, the first in this binomial and the first in this one. And then the O is the outer ones. The 4t is the outer, this one, and the t and the 4, they're on the outside of the parentheses. And then the 1t, those are the inners, right? They're sort of on the inside of this expression. And then the L is the last ones, the 1 times the 4. And so you'll want to do that. You multiply t times t. You do the first ones, write down t squared. And then typically the outers and the inners will be the same term, and you can combine those. So you do the 4t and the 1t, that makes 5t. And then the last ones, the 1 times the 4 is 4. You just write that down. So you typically want to be able to do this, go from this step up here to right down here all in one step. You want to be able to combine those middle terms in your head. So for example, on this this product here, I'll have x minus 5 times x plus 8. I'd multiply the x times the x and write down x squared. And then I do x times 8. That's the outers. That's 8x. And I hold that in my mind. I say, okay, I got an 8x from the outers, and then I come over here and do the inners, negative 5x, and I say, oh, I can do that in my head. 8x minus 5x is 3x. And then do the negative 5 times the 8, that's negative 40, and write it down. Okay, and then that would be your answer. So when you're first learning this, that may seem a lot to carry in your head and do, but it's extremely important that you learn to be able to FOIL binomials, because later on we're going to do that in reverse with factoring that requires you to do that a lot in your head. So you want to become proficient at doing it exactly like I've just done. Let's do a couple more examples. I got these two. I'd multiply the first. That'd give me 6r squared. The outers are 3r. The inners are 8r. 3 and 8 make 11, so that's 11r. And then the last one's 4 times 1 is 4, and you've done it. Draw a circle around it, move on to the next one. I got 8t squared from the first ones. I got a negative 28, right? 4t, and then this is a negative 7, so it's negative 28. And then I got a plus 6 in the middle. So negative 28 plus 6, negative 22t. And then the 3 times a negative 7 is negative 21.